Hello subscribers, welcome to a live stream of Wizardry 7 difficult mod. So we completed Wizardry 6 on Expert Iron Man successfully. We're going to do the same thing now on part 7. I've added in my characters. And here we go. There's Altheides that we just saw. The end of Wizardry 6. Hey, Duncan and Jimmy, welcome in. How are you guys tonight? Real deal Wizardry 7 hype, Jimmy says. 7 might be my favorite of the series. Very challenging, he says. It is indeed. Planet Guardia we are now at. Hey, says Tim, welcome in. How are you doing? The Dark Savant, the first time hearing about it. The Astral Domine. And there's Vi Domina. We'll see her again in Wizardry 8 if we can make it. Thanks for giving Saztam the shout out, Jimmy. There's the Trang. The Umpani. No more time to lose. For months, the journey has continued. We've arrived, exclaims Altheides. So Altheides is a robot or android that actually shows emotion, evidently. All right. Here we are. And you can see we're still full leveled. Level 28 through 26 with all of our items. Let's make sure we're on expert here. Yep. Okay, that all looks correct. All right. We did pick up some items. In fact, let's go ahead and rest. After our win in Wizardry 6. And we need armor plate. Thank you. Okay. Start exploring. Walking through the trees, you suddenly stop. A torrent of thoughts sweep past you. Dark, haunted images, escaping from behind the locked confines of your own mentations. Like a shock, your mind begins to race with the impact of all the events that brought you to this place. Does mankind have a destiny? Does the universe have a destiny? Could it be possible to alter the universe? of all that has been before? Or is all that can be to remain all that is? Who is this dark savant, this dark herald of change, and what role shall you play? Will your actions assist the approach of a new order within the universe, or hasten the onslaught of its own destruction? And how can you be certain of the difference? These thoughts begin to fade as quickly as they appeared, and soon your gaze returns to the forest where you stand. Perhaps somewhere here on this new world lie the answers. And then again, perhaps not. Hey there, Alex. Welcome in. How are you doing? Suddenly, from out of the blue descends a flying red rocket, on the back of which rides a blazing female warrior. Hi-yo, strangers. Welcome to the lands of Guardia. Many are you who have come from the stars. We hail you, for it is the time of the coming of the Crusaders. Let destiny prevail. And with that, the bizarre lass zooms into the sky and shoots out of sight. Alex asks, have I tried Wizardry Gold? Yes, I have. I'm not a fan of it. I wasn't a fan of the graphics or any of the other stuff in it. Well, this will be a cakewalk for quite a while. Let's do asphyxiation. Power 3 should be plenty. Except maybe those glow moths, we'll find out. Oh, got him. Duncan says the party demands Jimmy comb his beard. He has the same snack crumbs in there since Wizardry 6. And Jimmy says, I'm saving them for later, Duncan. We got to go get our journey map kit, although we already have one. Dandyfoots. We'll just weaponize them. Soft crunchy noise. Sastam says, if you didn't transfer characters over from Wizardry 6, would you still get that came from the stars bit? Yes. Yeah, that's the default beginning. You start in a different area if you, depending on which ending you do, but you always get the spaceship beginning. Sometimes it'll provide, like, you'll see Bella in the beginning and he'll say, quick, go into the ship. And, you know, no matter what, you always have a spaceship beginning. It's just which version of the spaceship beginning do you get? These creatures are like, oh, the gods came down from the heavens and are killing us. Yeah, you start in a different area. Hey, Mr. Spock, welcome in. How are you doing? And it does present different dialogue and information and stuff. Because there's one ending in 6 where you can go with Bella the Black Dragon and get on the ship. Okay, here we go. Sure, we don't need this. Actually, we could use this. Loot of Iron Skin's a good instrument for us. That's armor shield. Jimmy, how about you do falling stars? Sestam says they must be seriously jet lagged from all that interplanetary travel and they're already killing stuff. Yep. We'll just say it's magic, Sastam. Since we're in a world of magic anyway. Magic and sci-fi. Magic can always be an excuse. We got another journey map kit. Stuff I don't care about. So let's check out our mapping skill. Oh, that's right. I removed the journey map kit from your characters when you use my transfer tool, so that you have to find it. Okay, so let's put this back on the bard. See if I have any cure poison potions already. Yeah, there we go. This box says, kick those foots with your boots. The foots. Fights will be boring for a while. Yeah, pretty good mapping skill. We can see a lot there. The outlines of the trees and the paths. I am going to move this to the back. It's easier to use. Okay. So there's the town. I don't want to go there yet. Let's do the starter dungeon. Wow, this is nice. Having mass killing ability. Okay, so power 2 asphyxiation is enough to take out the ravens. All right. Bitter bugs and bugs. I'm gonna look and see if I can get training with something else here. So sling, but I don't have one right now. Monk, sling, throwing. Throwing, healed. Sling and bows. Yeah, pretty much the same skills needed on everyone here. I may move the alchemist up front and get him some sword training. Oh, he doesn't have sword ability. You can still use that sword of anti-magic, sword of magic. But there's no sword skill to increase, so there's no point in doing it. Uh, 26 dagger. Your mason foil 72. Okay, so we'll do this. I'm gonna give the alchemist death dagger. In fact, dual wield them. We're gonna move you here. Then we can get some training on dagger with the alchemist. And the monk, I think, we're already at 100 here. Guess we could do the holy dagger for now. Gain a tiny bit. Is. Sifting through the rags, you uncover an old worn parchment clutched within a deceased individual's bony fingers. Duncan got the item. If you don't want to lose it, cover it with Paluk's. Paluk's Armory. Mail and fine leathers located in New City. Single mind flay will probably take care of these. Single level. Hey there, Helger, welcome in. How are you doing? Yeah, this is my difficult mod. Falling stars. Knock, knock. Okay, moderate stamina. Cure light condition, cure poison. I already know. Yeah, there we go. Look here. Okay. Perfect. Hey, Zombo, welcome in. How are you doing? Yeah, we're doing Falling Stars already because we transferred my characters. They're level 26 through 28. We're doing a expert Iron Man run in the difficult mod. And then if we can beat this successfully, we'll transfer to Wizardry 8. Yes, I created a tool to do it. It's in the subfolder called Tools in the mod. You keep all items, you keep all levels, spells, the exact state you were in before the transfer. And then you're just in the Wizardry 6 world. You're in Guardia. Hey, Ray, welcome in. How are you doing? Still could use some magic training. Music training. Did I say magic? I meant music. No, Wizardry 7 is much, much longer than Wizardry 6. You got that backwards, Ray. There's also some unpredictability in Wizardry 7, where wandering NPCs can collect the maps, and then you have to track them down. So Wizardry 7 can be much, much harder to beat. This Spock says, what was the hardest thing to convert when you did the remaster of 6 to the 7 engine? There's a few things come to mind, Mr. Spock. One is the vampire, the fight with the vampire. Making him where you can't kill him and that he'll disappear after so many rounds. Because the original game, there was this special mechanism that called Vanish that did not exist in the 7 engine. So I had to figure out a way to make that happen. The other one that was tricky was the bell that you have to jump on. That was kind of a pain in the butt. This stuff I'm not going to take. What else? Oh, actually, yeah, I forgot about this. There's in the River Styx, there's a guided tour from Charon the boat, the ferryman. I had to recreate all that. That was really tricky. So if I had to guess, that was probably the hardest thing I had to do. And then I had to make that water. I had to create the water wings and figure out a way to do that because Wizardry 6 didn't have swimming. So I had to come up with a way to allow you to go through all that water with those water wings because that doesn't exist. So that was a big pain in the butt. There's quite a few things that were like a major pain in the butt. And I had to implement them differently than how the original game did. In the darkness area, there's a cave in the enchanted forest. That was a real pain in the butt. Midspock says that's funny. In some ways, it sounds like in some ways the Wizardry 6 engine was more advanced than the 7. Yeah, it had some features in it that didn't exist in the 7 engine, but then the 7 engine was also kind of had a bunch of features that weren't in 6. So it was definitely a mix. I think D.W. Bradley just, discovered that some of the things he had done wasn't really needed. So he just never used them again. Oh yeah. And the other thing, I just keep coming up with more. So in 7, there's these wandering NPCs. Well, I had to figure out a way to do that in 6, but have them completely different. And I had to make it where it was not shopkeepers that you would normally run into. And then there's a lore tied to them. So there's a lot of stuff. They would find maps, which are hard-coded item IDs. But in 6, there's no maps like that. There's not the temple map or any of that. So I had to create objects that were basically things they would sell that in Wizardry 7 would have been like a map. Just so many things were different. Works both ways, that's right. Sounds like Wizardry 7 engine not as advanced as 6 is blasphemy. No, Mr. Spock's right. In some ways, 6 was better. But in many ways, it wasn't. The drinking game with what's his name also didn't exist. With Captain Matey, I had to recreate all that kind of mechanism too. It was quite the ordeal. Miss Fox says, so here's a question, maybe unanswerable if 8 was actually workable. Do you think conversions of 6 and 7 to 8 would have been harder or easier? It would have been much, much harder. Trying to recreate 6 or 7 and 8, there's ridiculous number of challenges of that. The biggest one is the assets. All the monsters and all that stuff, having 3D models of all that, And then the tediousness of trying to recreate the worlds. No. It'd be ridiculous. Yeah. And I mean, Cosmic Forge Editor lets you do that, but it's very, very cumbersome. And unless you had the original tools that the creators used to make Wizardry, it would take you years to recreate everything. Trying to use Cosmic Forge to do it. And that's assuming you'd have the assets. It would still take you years. Nuke 'em. Zombel says Gen AI tools might be really helpful for creating 3D models from 2D bitmaps. The Wizardry models are pretty ridiculous. Trang went from a menacing spider monster to some silly 4-foot tall bobblehead. Yeah, Wizardry 6 and 7 is much creepier. It's a much scarier feel. Wizardry 8 is definitely more cartoonish feel. But Wizardry 8 is way more complex and difficult with fights and stuff. So there's definitely trade-offs. For me personally, I don't care about graphics. Something can have pretty bad graphics and I don't care. As long as it's super challenging, lots of options, lots of complexity. For an RPG, I'm talking RPGs, then I'm all in. Now, if it's an adventure game like a Sierra, King's Quest or something, graphics are nice, having better graphics. But RPG, you don't need all that. Ray says, I just think the sounds and graphics of Wizardry 8 are so addictive. Miss Spock says, I agree. That's why I still play book-based RPGs. Yeah, exactly. Horror of Reciprotep. Here we go. Poor Reciprotep. He doesn't know what he's getting into. Okay. We will see him again at some point. Skeleton powder. Sell all that stuff. Ray says, by the way, I watched the review last night of whatever the game's called. Oh, Hillsfar? I think it might be the worst game I ever saw anyone play, but what a laugh you got from the review. Good. At least you got something out of it. You can get a laugh out of other people's pain. That's always good. Yes, Hillsfar's that bad. You can always find a worse game, but it's a terrible game. Anybody that says it isn't, hasn't. I challenge you to play it 10 hours a week and then come back and tell me that it's not a terrible game. You will get tired of it so quickly. Spike stones. I just need to get a sling now. Okay, Book of Blinding. Ranger, Alchemist, Ninja. This is going on. Zomble. A few more red spell points. The horse riding between the areas. Yeah, uh-oh, here's a puddle. Sanstam says, I actually had pleasant memories of Hillsfar when playing as a kid until I recently tried to play it again on stream a while back. Yes, exactly. And that's why good for Saztam for actually trying it. Because that's how I was too, Saz. I had fond memories of it as a kid because I didn't have a lot of good games. And you can only play what you had. Yeah, Lefty the Orc. Oh my gosh, yeah, it was just terrible. I think I gave it a D maybe. I don't think I gave it an F, but I'm really not sure now. It was so long ago I did that review. It was bad. There's not another one here. Miss Fox says nostalgia glass up. Yeah, and even that won't save you. Yeah, load it up, Mr. Spock. Instead of just taking my word for it, load it up, play it for 10 hours, and tell me if you're going to keep playing it and if you want to keep playing it after the 10-hour mark. And that will tell you everything. Don't take my word for it. Just go do it. It becomes mind-numbing so quickly. You'll be like, why am I playing this again? Why am I raiding these houses looking through treasure chests that are just filled with junk? The replayability is so low. Says Tim says Deep Forte Hills Far Remaster mod. I don't think I can fix that game, says. I don't think it's fixable. Says Tim says I only needed 2 hours to find it. It's tedious, yeah. My review opened your eyes. Well, that's good and bad, I guess. Everybody's different too. Everybody likes different things out of games. I like to be challenged. I don't like a lot of tediousness. System says there's just no point to the game. I guess it was trying to be kind of a sandbox game, but it doesn't even work as that. Yeah, exactly. I'm not a fan of games that try to turn an RPG into an action game, unless you do it like a beat 'em up. Do like the arcade D&D games. Those are fine. You're doing a beat 'em up type game. That's that's okay. But when you start turning it into like a bunch of mini games and stuff, in my opinion, that's terrible. Terrible way to go. This box says you should make a save importer that no one will use for your gold box games. You mean to import into Hillsfar or from Hillsfar? You could transfer Pool of Radiance characters to Hillsfar. Make them overpowered. That would be pretty funny. Look at the beautiful map. Okay, we're done with this dungeon. Okay, rats. Miss Specs says both, lol. No, I think my time could be well spent, much better spent working on actually good games. Not trying to mess around with Hillsfar. This guy's hidden. Put a firestorm on him. Keep procking each round. See if it gets him this round. Nope. There we go. He revealed himself. Miss Fox says, new idea. Hi, Hillsfar side scroller. Go into each house and beat up everyone inside, stealing treasure. And a horse riding level that actually has a point. Yeah, there you go. As a beat 'em up, it'd be fine. Do an arcade style Dungeons and Dragons beat 'em up. Zomble says, LOL, we're using some seriously high level spells on these scrubs. Yeah, I'm just trying to save time. I'm going to destroy this guy too. Die. It's restricted. Do not attempt entry. Time to die, buddy. Time to die. You guys are nuked. Yeah, let's go. Kill the savant scum. Exactly. Okay, cold dullness to the town of New City. As you pause and listen to the howl of the wind whistling through the alleyways of the city, you can almost hear faint whispers from behind the drawn, shuttered windows and the clatter of footsteps underneath the rustle of scattering leaves, as if some dark cloud had descended upon the place, choking from it the sparkle of life that perhaps it once possessed. All right, let's go this way first. Psst, get me out of here. That's like the giant suit in the Talking Heads video. Oh, that's funny. All right, Mind Flay, Earthquake, Falling Stars. You get some training. The battle is over. The vaporized bodies of the mysterious guards have left no traces or clues. It is all inhumanly efficient. Small black box with 3 blinking buttons is attached to the wall. It appears to be patiently waiting instructions. Oh, I think I know this. Let me think for a minute. Let me try something. Let me see if this is it. Nope. See if this is it. No. It's in my memory somewhere. Let's try this. Yes. Okay. The prison, like all cages and chambers of confinement, is desolate and somber, and the air is thick with the stale odor of unhealthiness. Its construction is simple and plain, but quite adequate to be effective nonetheless, serving all too well its ultimate intent to slowly drain the life of those who are deemed threatening or undesirable to the currently prevailing powers that be. Find a key hanging upon the wall. Duncan. Occupied by a very rotund and somewhat unattractive creature, although his demeanor does not appear hostile. I am in your debt. Oops. We should get out of here before more of the guards arrive. Okay, actually, you know what? Do you have any money on you? No. He has no money. He doesn't want to buy any of our stuff. Let's talk with him because there's something I need to say here if I can remember what it is. Spies? No. Letter? We're supposed to say this to someone else. D'Artagnan Alliance. He tells us this. That's funny. So he tells us this in a second, but I tell him and it doesn't recognize it. Gorn, we shall be victorious. How about Orc Ogre Castle? There we go. Known only by a handful of people, but now I have need of your help. I must reveal it to you. You must swear never to tell it to anyone. Will you vow never to reveal what I tell you? Yes. A plot has been unleashed by those who would envision the destruction of the mighty Gorn Empire. We survived the years of the war with the Dane and the monk because we are stronger, but now new forces have appeared. That I will attempt to find the traitors who deceive me before they can reveal the location of Orc Ogre Castle. But you must travel and warn the king. Tell him this. The D'Artagnan alliance is broken. That's what I just told you. You will understand its meaning and know what to do. East of New City, if you follow the road that forks northward, you will find our lands. The border is guarded by a special division of the Gorn army, under the command of Lord Gallier. He is loyal to the king and will allow passage if you present him with this letter. Jimmy got an item. From there, make your way westward through the forest. Be on the lookout for the entry in a small clearing. It's a difficult journey, but you should be able to reach it in a day or so. Captain Beauregard leaves. Okay, I'm not going to open the rest of those. Let's go right again. Balkanzor. He only comes out here at nighttime. I can get some good training material from him. Sticks and things to throw. Let's do it. Come on. It's not considered night yet. There we go. Welcome, visitors. I am Balkanzor. How may I be of service? Is there anything I want to part with here? He doesn't want... I'll have to drop that. Doesn't want the prison key. Okay, ring of protection we don't need. Black gown of death. Get rid of it. I'll get rid of the skeleton powder. The cloak of perception. Don't think I'm gonna wear that. Oxygen cloak we don't need. Anka fire, time to retire. Races, Balkanzor sounds like a character from some really terrible, bad sci-fi B movie. Alright, I'm going to keep that. We can do sling training. I don't need light eels. That's a little too weak. You're not going to have anything to sell. Okay, mage. Get rid of that. We don't have a ninja, so I'm going to get rid of the Psi. Okay, death. I'm not going to equip. That's cursed. Get rid of the blink scroll. Okay. Now, let's see what you have to sell. Let's queue up a few acid sticks here, because I already have some of those on someone else. And then we'll do some training, throwing training. Let's give it to the monk, maybe? Let's take a look. This throwing's actually pretty good already. Yeah, we'll do a wield like this. Wait, what's your dagger? Oh, your dagger's already maxed. Okay. Unequip this. Split these. Primary. Secondary. Hey, Jaforan, welcome in. How are you doing? We have freed Beauregard. Okay, that'll get him to 100 throwing probably. We want Jimmy to do it too. His throwing's 44. There's only 21. Yeah, let's get the bard some throwing items too. Your foreign says you have added 15 minutes to your game. You mean talking to Beauregard? He can't use those. He can use mine sticks. Cracker. We'll use cracker. He's looking for your party. Oh, yeah. Yeah, he'll keep running into us, stalking us at some point. You can't use cracker sticks. Okay, can you? There we go. Just gotta get them merged. Let's get one more batch. Nope. All right, good enough. Let's take a peek at our map. It's beautiful. Normally this would be a problem. You can see how many things are mixed in here in the difficult mod. Not for this party. Yeah, actually, you can throw at the third group. And you will nuke. Stink bombs. Well, we can throw them. Does train. Alt tabbed. Wacky. Okay, your Mason foil's 78. It's getting up. Ray says, does the game get much more challenging after the half game or earlier with a party like that? Yeah, probably around about the halfway point. Yeah. And then end game. By the time we get to end game, even that is still going to be, some of it's going to be ridiculously hard. If we didn't grind to like level 80 or something, which we're not going to do. There's a few kind of like godlike monsters you can fight. Nice. We can get some more bow training on the monk. Okay, this we're gonna drop. What? Oh, what's the bard wearing? Aerial slippers? Fighter, thief, ranger, bard, Valkyrie lord. Okay. Yeah, and I mean, we could kill a bunch of NPCs and stuff too if we wanted to. Those could be dangerous. We could do a rampage run like that if we wanted to. All right, so we need to put a key here, which we don't have. Need to get that from one of the NPCs. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do this. Gorn and Ratkin and Men. Got a wide variety here. Ah, we got some seedy bishops back there. You see them? Nice shield. Not sure I get in this room. Nope, didn't think so. Okay, so we are by another NPC in here. Beware the dangers of the deep. Let's see what you're selling. Got a braided sling. If we wanted to train sling, why not? Life sparkler. Heal full, restful. No thanks. Hi. We're gonna train the fighter. His sling right now. Drop this. So his sling is 58. At some point we won't have to train anymore. Brahmadeg. We will run across Brahmadeg much later on. Suspended by hoists and beams, the skeleton of a small sailing vessel awaits completion. Nuclear blast. Yeah, lots of ratkins. Remember the ratkins from Wizardry 8, Mr. Spock? This is where they originated. He escaped. You love the character models? Yeah, they're pretty cool. They did a good job. Pewter key. All right, checking. I don't think we have what we need to get in here. Not yet. We'll get that in a bit. Lay their minds. They're hiding. Now we can get them. Alright, I keep getting more of those, so I'm going to go ahead and hang on to them. I can still use them for training, the heat bombs. Okay. Potty detached, we can't go in there yet. Blank. Bunker. This is where I think we find, yeah, the note BYYR. That was the password, the button pushes that you had to do, which I had stored in my brain, so I didn't need that. That's an exit we're not going to yet. Ooh, look at that, a bard level up. 11 vitality. Alright, 7 skill points. Let's see. Shield's harder to train. Let's put into that. Mapping. armed spearmen. This is all weapons. Ah, mage level up. That's funny. Alright, we are almost out of spells. It's like, oh, we have 7 left. I care about this. So we got more quarrels to train our crossbow with. Elm arrows. I'll hang on to them. I can still train bow on the fighter. Fireball scroll. Okay. Flash powder. I am going to hang on to that. Snake dust I'll hang on to. Sparkle sticks. Mage can throw those. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. This is where I want to be. This is where we can get the key we need. Eek, who are you? Why can't you leave me to work in peace? I gave the city blueprints to the strangers that were here just before you. Okay. No thanks. Draconic dude got the key. Okay. That guy stole my old glasses, Mr. Spock says. You had old glasses that looked like that, huh? See if we can beat the computer to the map, the first map. Some terrain we're in with them. We are getting full. Let's see. Iron key. I'm not going to really need these, but I'm collecting them anyway. All right. Let's go to the archive now. I can find my way back there. Samuel says, are we going to fight any Gorers this run? Iron Man, Beast of a Thousand Eyes. Probably not. That's suicide. Even with this party, we'd probably get destroyed by that. But we'll see. We'll see how strong we are by the time we get there. There's a few we can do, but there's 2 or 3 for sure. Well, I shouldn't say for sure. 2 or 3 I would be very leery of fighting. All right, it might be here. Wait a minute, have I not gone this way yet? Oh, I just passed this up. Jeforin says, what about Algors? Are we going to fight any of them instead of the any of the Gorers? Mr. Spock says, is there anything you wish you could take from Wizardry and put in the gold box games? I mean, it's a totally different type of game. The rules and everything are different. They're kind of apples and oranges. My gut instinct is no, but I'd probably have to think about it more. We are full. This nausea is strong. Miss Spock says, how about a spell or an inventory item? Not really. Everything's so different. They're just so different. It's really like comparing apples and oranges. And I feel like if you start monkeying with, let me put it this way, D&D is a lot more, first edition D&D is a lot more fragile with the rule system, where everything's very, very fine-tuned. And if you start taking things from others and putting it in there, you can lead to a lot of weird imbalances and stuff. Whereas something like Wizardry, this can accept more things than like D&D rules could. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I feel like it'd be easier to pull things into Wizardry than, and not really screw things up, than to do the opposite. Yeah, I mean, if you could, if I spent time thinking of some spells in this, for example, or some rules, I would definitely want to pull them into first edition rules and manipulate them, do a lot of massaging of it to figure out how it would fit. That I would be okay with. But even then, you could really screw things up if you weren't careful. So what if you went the other way? There's a lot of cool spells in first edition AD&D that I think would be nice. It'd be cool to have more illusionist type spells. D&D has a lot of great illusionist type stuff. And here's Beauregard. And they make Psionic a class, whereas in D&D, Psionic is like an ability, you know, for humans, halflings, and dwarves. So the systems are just so different. But if I had to pick something, it'd be illusionist spells, getting them into Wizardry. And there's some cool druid spells, I think, too, would also benefit Wizardry. We are doomed. It's only got 3 items. Leather greaves. Yeah. Let me see what the alchemist is wearing. Stud chaususes, those are better. Okay. Nope. So you could really mess around with taking psionics from AD&D 2. Well, the problem is the psionic class is in Wizardry. So you'd have to totally change that mechanism. You'd probably have to convert them to being like an illusionist instead, and then give psionic ability. Yeah, it'd just be real weird. You'd be reworking a lot of things. I think it'd be easier to get druid type spells into wizardry. Okay, where's my key? I think Draconic dude got it, didn't he? Yep. And we'll see if the computer beat us. I haven't rested much, so in theory we should get it. Speak with animals, LOL, Mr. Spike says. Well, there's like, you know, wall type spells and that. It's just so different because, like, I think D&D spells would fit better into Wizardry 8 since you have 3 dimensions. With this, there's no, like, a wall type spell doesn't do anything, you know, because you're not dealing with multiple dimensions. But Wizardry 8 could benefit from D&D spells and things way more. Summoning, you know, more summoning ability. Ooh, rose petals. We're probably full. I need to drop some stuff here. Let's figure it out. I can use that. Thought I had more magic cookies somewhere. Did I eat them? Your brain started thinking of Unlimited Adventures Wizardry conversion. Superman potion. Oh, I got too many different things. As much as I want that, I'm gonna drop it. Oh, come on, I opened a slot. I know I did. There it is. Stink bombs, I can merge those. The room appears vacant. Oh, there were Danes mixed in there. Ooh. Chest did not open. I'm gonna have to drop these and pick them up. Alright. First, before I do that, save it. his books are. Book of Scene. Let's put that on the monk. The Basso Lyre, that's the slow spell. I'm going to drop that. Book of Nox. Put that on the monk. We have 3 slots. Midnight Cloak. Old City Key. Knock of Death. It's cursed. Jay's wearing skirt. It would be nice normally, but we don't need that. Ooh, rocket sticks. Those are good. Probably have the bard throw those at some point. Okay. Do you have the key? Horrid waft of stinking air assails you. Creeping crowds, fungus oozes, skeleton lords. Creeping crowds, oozes. Okay. Take this fight seriously. Put anti-magic on those skeleton lords. With the Lyre of Voids. Nuclear Blast Power 4. Fairy Witches, I'm just going to use straight weapons. Book of Weakening. Put that on the monk. Skeletons. And it is. You know what? I'm going to asphyxiate these. There were some Gorn shaman back there too. They got caught up in it. Ooh, dragon lizards. Gorn leaders, monk, ninjas. Okay, this is a more serious fight. Mind Flay. Earthquake. Power 3. Falling Stars, power 5. You scare the dragon lizards. And you nuke them. Yeah, some danger. This came out of nowhere. Those dragon lizards breathe acid. They can actually be... I've been party wiped from them before. I fought like with a party that I transferred from Wizardry 6. It happened in the Orc Ogre Castle. I think there was probably like 20 of them. And they all started breathing acid. And acid resistance is usually pretty weak. So they end up wiping us. And this giant run and Iron Man wipe would hurt even more than usual, Mr. Spock says. Exactly. Yeah, that would not be good. I need to see where Zomble's dagger training is. See if it's time to... No, he's still got a ways to go. It's only 63. Okay, another rough fight. Monk ninjas. Use Firestorm. Draconic dude do Mind Flay. We're gonna Earthquake all these guys. Falling Stars, power 5. Scare these guys in the back. Actually, no. Anti-magic on them. And then Mage Nuclear Blast. Let's asphyxiate. Hey, Mark, welcome in. How are you doing? Yeah, those were huge groups. We're playing my difficult mod, so you end up fighting much harder, much more of everything. More difficult combos. But we did a full power transfer of our level 26 characters, so right now we're fine. I don't know if I have any more free slots. Yeah, we'll just leave this for now. Okay, let's see what we found. Ooh, Anka Might. Nice. I'll put down the monk. "19 strength. Amulet of Winds. Okay. There's some charges in it. You were going to say that looked positively nasty for what that looks like in the start dungeon. Yeah, we're actually in the old archive area right now. The old city. Which is, it starts getting tougher there. But, yep. Even still, it's still difficult for that area. Bone Dust, I don't need. Spell Undead, I will keep. Are you planning to reclass anyone given the new game, or just keep everyone as is? I'm going to keep everyone as is. My goal is to run through the trilogy without class changing. Just to show you don't need a class change. Everybody has a sense of identity then. When you start changing class, you really end up with weird, watered down characters that have like identity crises, and it just doesn't work very well. I mean, it's strong for making your character strong, but then you end up having like just watered down, weird characters. Everybody's kind of doing the same thing. Okay, let's see if the NPC beat us. We got it. We beat him. We have to leave all this though until I can drop enough items. Let's see here. How's your training going? Sling is 73. Still got some work. We don't need those. These we can eat now. I need those for bow training. Let's ditch these. I don't need these keys. Okay. All right. Now we can see what it is. Mark says, I vaguely remember when I played this back when it was newish. not really knowing what I was doing, I ended up reclassing like half a dozen times each character just for the skill and magic points, I think. Yeah, that's exactly it. A lot of people end up doing that, and you end up with characters like that just have almost everything. And it really eliminates the whole purpose of classes, in my opinion. I don't like doing that. Plus, it makes the game easier. Stab of Witches, okay. May have a use for that. Acid Bolts we can't use, that's Ranger only. Loot of Missiles. That's a magic missile loot. That's nice. Let's see. Wand of Ghosts we'll put on the monk. What else? Flaming Dagger, that's actually a pretty good dagger. Titanium Helm, that's great. Oh, actually, hang on. What's the Alchemist have? Wizard's Cone? I'm gonna take the armor class bonus. Okay, what else? Broadsword +1. No, I don't really have a need for that. And there's the dragon map. We didn't have to get from an NPC. Yay! Mark says, LOL, first time playing the series, I did not lack for any sense of difficulty, that's for sure. This game regularly kicked my butt, all points. Yeah, that's true. It takes a lot of playing to kind of know what to do. Okay. There we go. Nice. Yes, I'm so glad we got that map. So we didn't have to hunt down NPCs for it. Mark says it wasn't until the very end and into 8 that I actually had any real sense of what I was doing. Functional, but definitely not optimal. Yeah. Well, that makes, in my opinion, that makes runs much more fun. When you have to kind of discover and learn things as you go. That's why I like playing games blind. If you read a bunch of hints and things like that up front, it, my opinion, it ruins the game. That's just me. For the most part, I agree, Mark says. I do wish the itemization was more descriptive of what stuff actually did, though. Yeah, I think part of that was a technology limitation for D.W. Bradley. You know, disk space and everything else. I mean, when you think about it, he made Wizardry 6. I think he released it in 1990, maybe? Is there 90 or 91? And 7 was released like a year later. You know, and he did pretty much most of the development himself. That's a huge feat. So it probably would have taken a lot longer to release if it had a lot more stuff like that in it, you know. fact, I often wonder how many games don't get released because they're too ambitious, trying to get too much in. Nowadays, it's easy because you can just release one version and then release another version later, you know. Lot easier than putting it on discs and selling it in a store. That's just nuts. I remember some developers back in the 80s, kind of early 80s, would sell games in baggies. They didn't even have boxes. They would put them in baggies and sell them at stores that way, like go around trying to sell them. It's nuts to think about what they had to do, how much harder it was. We've got it made nowadays. Ultima had similar issues, Mark says, trying to release a game every winter for Christmas, right? Yes, exactly. Satstam says, yeah, Garia did that with Akalbaleth. I pronounced it wrong. Akalabeth. It was really neat, though, that they were able to do that kind of stuff back then. Let's see here. Let's try out our new instrument. Lute of Missiles. We did it. We made it out. Set up our config so it'll remember next time I'm in. Excellent. Mark says he started off with a Commodore 64. Older brother had a Hardy Trading Network going into high school. We had like 150 floppy disks with 1 to 8 games on each. Most of them even worked. Nice. A lot of your DOS and Windows 95 gaming exposure came from demo discs and freeware that you bought later versions of. Yeah. Yeah, that was very common. I got a lot of games from bulletin board systems in the 80s. You know, whether it was pirated or shareware, a lot of people did that kind of thing. And it would take ages to download a game. Like when you had a 2400 baud modem or a 1200 baud modem and you're wanting to download like a 10 megabyte game, it took forever. And a lot of the BBSs had upload download ratios. So like you'd have to upload for every 5 bytes you download, you'd have to upload 1 byte. They usually had a ratio, something like that. So a lot of people would upload just garbage stuff because usually the BBS has already had a lot of what you had. Like you had nothing to give them, nothing to provide. So sometimes you'd be forced to give them just some junk, you know, just to meet that ratio. I mean, I've got all kinds of stories like that. If anybody ever wants to have a session, a streaming session, just talking about that kind of stuff, just let me know. Go over to the Discord and say something. We could have a whole stream about that if everybody wanted to participate. Hey, Popper, welcome in. How are you doing? Nothing like a 3 hour download to get interrupted 5 minutes before the end because someone picked up the phone. Yes, yes. And that's where Z modem became very popular, if you remember the Z modem protocol. Because before Z modem, a lot of the protocols did not have continuation. So when the game, whatever you're downloading aborted, it was worthless. But Z modem allowed it to pick up from where it left off. That was a game changer. And there was another protocol called Hyperlink, I think that was the name of it, that allowed two-way direction at the same time. And it actually didn't cut down your performance hardly at all because the way the telephone lines ran, one line would be out and one would be coming in. And back then, the technology did not have the ability to use both to send. For example, it would only be, it had to be bidirectional. So, protocol like that would be good for when you're trying to make those ratios. So, you could be uploading your stuff at the same time you're getting stuff down. So, there was lots of stuff. I was known as the protocol man on my BBS because I installed like I would say it was at least 12 protocols, but maybe I had like 15 or something. And I would get the most obscure protocols that nobody even knew what they were and nobody had the back end to support it. So they were kind of useless, but I just loved tinkering with all that. So people would ask me to help them install these protocols on their BBSs, which was fun. Mark says, yeah, Commodore 64 modems were 1200 baud and you had to trade games to get games. Yeah, exactly. Oh, my pleasure, Zomble. My pleasure. Star 70 to disable the incoming calls from knocking you out. Yep. If you had call or a call waiting, yeah. You got your folks mad at you, Mark, due to missed calls. Yeah, I I understand that. I ended up getting me and my brother had our own phone line due to that, which was way better. But he'd get mad because I would always have my bulletin board online. He'd want to be talking and people are trying to call in. It's calling into my BBS. And of course, then it just screeches in their ear if someone's calling on the regular phone. Those are funny times, guys. All right. Well, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time.